The patient's doing 12. You're set for 550. They should be getting around that. Yeah, because there's no HME set up on it. So you're losing a little bit of volume. That's why. Because there's no HME. It's set for an HME, and there is no HME on it. Let's see if we can.
That is, okay, that's no problem.
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna drop this down to 21%, just because she doesn't like it running.
Okay.
So this is the patient is the machine is doing everything for them. So now here's all your weights. Here's your pressure's going in. There's your pressure. It's reading about 18. See that peak where it hits up there?
Mm-hmm.
See how your peak pressures are like 18, so that's reading correctly. It's dropping down to your pressure of 5, because that's your peak.
Okay.
So it's not going to go all the way down. If I drop this down to 0, you'll see it go all the way down to baseline.
And then this is the plateau here, the in between each.
Hold on a second. Oh, this is frozen. There we go. Okay. See how now it's going all the way down to baseline?
So your PEEP will just bump it up a little bit off the
Your PEEP will, so it's holding those alveoli open, so it's not going to totally dump the entire breath. It's going to stop at 5. Watch now. When the breath goes in, it'll dump it out, and see how it stays at 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hold on a second. Let me turn this off. Okay. Now, if you need a compliance and your plateau, if the doctor says, what's the compliance on the patient, what is the plateau on the patient, that's when you hit your inspiratory point. Go ahead and
On
hit that.
inspiratory.
No, you don't have to hold this. You just hit it.
Oh, I thought you had to hold it.
Mm-mm.
On the servo, you have to hold it?
Servo, you may. I don't really know the servo. I'm really bad at that.
So then it gives you that's the plateau pressure is 18.
You're frozen.
Oh yeah.
No.
No.
Unfreeze
If
it.
you freeze, it's frozen, so you can see what you just
Oh,
did.
I'm sorry. I thought
So
you
do
were
it-
telling me to unfreeze
Do it one
it.
more time.
Yeah, there you go. So just hit your inspiratory pause. You'll hear. You don't have to hold it. Just hit it, and it'll calculate it for you. Plateau is 18, and your compliance is 42.
Okay.
Now, for compliance, like what would be like a normal range that you want?
All patients are different. Their compliance, because it depends on what their lungs are like. So you don't have a set compliance for anybody, or you don't have like, oh, this patient's compliance should be this, because every patient's compliance is going to be different depending on how the compliance is in their lungs.
But if it starts to go really high,
The higher the compliance, the better. If they have no
need to regulate
compliance,
breath.
they're going really,
then their
really
lungs are
low,
shit.
becoming really stiff, right?
or
Or
they're
not.
they're not able to, they're not ventilating correctly, the lungs are just crappy. So there's no compliance to them whatsoever. Okay, then you have an expiratory pause. If you hit that, that's going to bring up your auto peep. So if a patient starts auto peeping, you'll see that. So hit expiratory pause.
Do I have to do it at a certain time?
Nope, just hit it.
This one, the breaths, the other one does not. The servo.
So here's your intrinsic peep. Is 0.1, which is like nothing.
That's what the patient is, that's what they have on their own, not what you have set for them.
Right. So this patient is not auto peeping, is what it tells you. If you see like a total peep of like 10 or 15, you know
They
that,
already
and you'll
have.
see like a 5 over here. So 5 plus the 5 we're setting, you'll see a total peep of 10, and that means that they are auto peeping.
And then you would want to lower your PEEP then.
You don't want to lower your peep, you want to just get rid of it. So you want to either increase your flow to try and stop them, because the auto peep is like with them stacking. So that
Increase your
peep is
expiratory
just-
times.
So increase your flow to try and help them breathe off some of that. Or the easiest way, I don't know if I can tell you that here, but disconnect the patient and you'll hear the patient go, you'll hear it actually escape, and then reconnect them and check your auto peep again. Did I tell them that here?
Probably not.
Probably not, because they probably won't want.
So they probably just want them to increase their flows then, right? Too.
Yeah, I've told people.
That's how we fix it in the hospital. You
No,
just
I don't doubt
disconnect.
that, but
Yeah.
I figured, I might get failed for that.
And I'm going to just go.
Well,
just
no, if
next
someone,
circuit.
like if I asked you what's the quickest way to get rid of
Yeah.
auto feed,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Like a doctor will tell you in the hospital
Disconnect
that
them.
they're auto peeping. Can you fix it quick? Just disconnect and reconnect.
Release all the pressure.
This teaches your waves.
Okay, so
Okay, so you
now
know
I
these
did
two
my
have
waves,
no
problem
I
with
did
that.
that. So now it's just
Now here, you can also do
Like
all different waves. You could do pressure and time, flow and time, your flow over your time, the pressure volume loop, your flow volume loop. So you can do any of that.
You just have to see.
So if they want to do flow volume loop, just freeze that. There's your flow volume loop. I don't know what she really wants. She didn't really go into detail on telling you how to read
that
them
was
right.
under plot setup.
Under plot setup, you can do whatever loops. You could do a pressure volume
She
loop.
said just know what it is, that it's your
Know where to
wave.
find it, know how to change it.
That's it. But normally we leave both of them up there. So that's that. In this clipboard here, like I said, the only really way you look into that clipboard is when you're in your pressure support mode, because that'll tell you what your rapid shallow breathing index is. Okay?
Whether or not you're stacking.
Here's your alarms. What do you mean whether you're stuck? Rapid shallow breathing index gives you your flow over your tidal volume,
It's terrible.
and that's when you're going to learn the weaning parameters. You didn't go into that today, right? Yeah. Don't get your.
Okay.
Let's not talk about it yet.
So just for weaning parameters,
Just
you
for
look
weaning
there.
parameters is where you're looking in the clipboard.
Okay.
And same thing goes down here. This-
It's not
They have a red.
not updated because I know what you're.
In the A40 in the hospital, you'll see there's 3 more tabs down here, and one's like for a NIF. You can get a NIF through here. So in this case, but we're not. Let's not talk about that either. All right. So alarms is the next thing that you're gonna have to do. So she said to do 10 to 15 above your peak pressure and your flow and your frequency. So your peak pressure here is 18. So what would you set that at?
28.
Fine. Not my 50, 40, 4
And the
liters,
frequency.
200, 100.
I know, right?
You have to hit the box. Up top.
Okay, so